6 months ago, I uploaded my first video to YouTube. I decided to start an indoor cycling channel predominantly focused around Zwift, and that first video was uploaded with a sense of trepidation, nervousness, and no expectations what to get. I had no subscribers, no watch time, and no idea what I was letting myself in for. Today, I thought it was a good moment to pull back the curtain on what it is like to run a small YouTube channel in conjunction with having a real life job, the amount of time it takes, how much work you have to put in, what the costs associated with it are. And I'm not here to sell you a story about going viral overnight. That certainly has not happened. But there has been one or two videos that have had a significant impact on the channel over the last 6 months, and I'll share that with you. So let me take you through what it's like to be a small channel on YouTube, doing it in your spare time, and how that's gone for me. The whole idea of the channel started from a really simple place. I'd started indoor cycling on Zwift. I'd been watching YouTube channels from other creators basically posting their races online, and I'd enjoyed those. And I thought, well, maybe I can contribute to this as well. What I noticed with Zwift when I first joined is it can be quite confusing for the new user. There's a lot of graphics, a lot of menus. You don't really know about all of the features and benefits that you can get out of the game. And I thought it wouldn't be good if I made a series of videos that actually took people through those steps. So they had almost like a reference guide, if you like, for getting going on indoor cycling. For me, indoor cycling has been life-changing, I think. In many respects, it's helped me with my weight, it's helped me with my mental health, it's certainly helped me with my fitness. And then the YouTube channel has built on that. And actually, if I'm honest, the YouTube channel now for me is as much about creating content, which means that I keep on getting on the bike so it keeps me motivated, as it is about trying to grow the channel, etc. But we're all ambitious. We all want to do the very best job that we can. So I am trying to do the best job that I can with my YouTube channel. But that first video was pretty nerve-wracking. There's quite a big difference between thinking I'll create a YouTube channel and actually hitting record for the first time. Learning how to talk to a camera, which, you know, you're watching this now. You can tell me in the comments whether you think I'm any good at it or not, but I've certainly improved, I'm sure of that. From the editing to the amount of time that it actually takes to do was really quite an eye-opener for me. And then there was some costs involved as well, which we'll run through in a moment. But let's briefly look at that first video. And as you can see, it's quite different from the content that I'm producing just 6 months later, which personally, I'm pretty pleased with. Hello and welcome to my YouTube video. This is my first one, so quite exciting. What I've decided to do is to document my journey through Zwift since September last year, but I've only just started recording and we're now in February 2025. So that first video in its first week got 46 views. It gained me 2 subscribers, one of which was my wife, the other one I think was my daughter, and that was my start in YouTube. Since then it's gone on to amass a massive 94 views over the last 6 months. So that's where you start from. And actually, it's a little bit like an anticlimax because you post it, you think there's all of these millions of people watching YouTube, and then you realise that you're such this tiny little speck in amongst all of those, I have to say, brilliant content creators, that your voice is very small indeed. So I started to research, how do I improve? What do I need to do to try and make some kind of impact on YouTube? And my overriding ambition was to connect with other people doing indoor cycling. Basically 3 rules that I learned over the next 6 months. The first one is your thumbnail and your title are crucial. If you don't get clicked on, nobody watches your videos. And if they are super good and super amazing with amazing sound and fantastic editing, none of that means anything if nobody watches it. So thumbnails and titles are actually fundamentally your shop window, and that's what draws people in to watch the video. The second thing that I learned was about sound. So sound is really important. It seems that you can get away with minimal editing, you can get away with, you know, relatively off the cuff footage, let's say, but actually if people can't hear what you're saying, then they won't watch. So that was an investment. You can see I've got a lavalier mic linked to a DJI Mic 2, so invested a little bit in making sure I had good sound. And the third point was about consistency. So this idea of if you're going to do it, you have to stick with it. And since then, I've tried to upload on average about 1 long format video per week. So in the first month, I uploaded some more videos. And as you can see here, if I click on this link here, you can see that I uploaded a couple of videos on that first day. And then I uploaded another one around on the 24th, which was another racing video, and then so on and so forth. And you can see where the little YouTube symbols are, that's when I uploaded videos across that month. So there was 9 videos uploaded in the first 4 weeks. So on average, about 2 videos per week. And you can see I amassed a massive 384 views, 16.4 hours of watch time, and you can see it does peak when you upload videos, which is what you would expect, and 11 subscribers. I mean, 12 really, but somebody decided they didn't like it. That was probably my wife deciding that she listens enough to me waffle on about it without actually having to watch the videos as well. But yeah, so 12 subscribers, but lost one. If we move forwards and look at the following month, which was from the 19th of March to the 19th of April, you can see it's actually started to build a bit. Over that period of time, I got 18,600 views, 676 hours of watch time, and 93 subscribers. So this was a massive improvement over that first month. And you can see that this peak here really is whereabouts that started to happen. And what we can see is that this is down to a video that I uploaded here on the 25th of March. And this video was all about my Zwift ride. If we have a look at that video, you can see since then it's had over 17,000 views. It's been watched for more than 1,500 hours, which boggles my mind. And it's gained me 89 subscribers. And this is the video that made me realise that if you get the right content out there and spend some time doing some editing so that it looks okay, then people will watch it. And clearly people were interested in the hardware. But that said, I really like making the racing videos, so I'm not going to stop doing that. In fact, I think a lot of the core people that watch my channel enjoy those predominantly, and it's videos like the Zwift Ride review that I did back in March that draws new people to the channel, and then hopefully they stick around. So those results in March inspired me, and in April I uploaded 12 long format videos. I've since realised that this isn't really sustainable. It takes too much time. I had some time off from my day job, so I had time to play around with it. But in reality, 1 a week I think is realistic. And you can see though that having done that, the statistics talk for themselves. So now in April, 27,500 views. Insane. People watch my videos for 873 hours and another 137 subscribers. So the channel is really getting traction. If we jump into May, we can see that the views and the watch time have both continued in the right direction. Bit of a slower month from subscribers, but let's have a quick look and see how that looks from when I started to the end of May. So in that first 3 months and let's say 2 weeks, 67,000 views, 1.7 thousand hours of people watching videos, and 241 subscribers. At this point in the video, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who's watched one of my videos at any point in time. It all adds up, and it really feeds the motivation to do more, because like I say, I mean, a small channel like mine is never going to replace my day job. It's always going to be a hobby. But it gives you that motivation to keep on coming back because it shows you that you are being useful. And actually, we'll talk in a minute about comments and likes, which are two of the things that drives YouTube to recommend your product further away, which is why every creator that you watch pretty much goes, please like my video, including me. So, you know, if you haven't already, please like this video. But it does then refer that content to more people, and the more people that watch it, it's a momentum builder. So you can see that in that first 3 months or so, seriously, if you'd asked me at the beginning what my expectations were, I don't know really what I would have said to you, but not that. Definitely not that. I'd never in a million years would I have thought that, my tiny little channel done from my, bedroom upstairs and filmed in the pain cave that I have out in the garden would do something like that. Let's go back to month by month, because June was actually, I would say, a pivotal month for me. I'd had quite a lot of success with the Zwift Ride video, but that was really an enigma within all of the other videos that I'd done up till that point. But then in June, I did a comparison between Zwift and Ruvi, and that video went out on the 8th of June. And as you can see, it got some traction pretty quickly. And on this day here, on the 11th of June, my videos were watched 5,144 times in one day. It's insane. Actually, 347 hours of people watching the videos that I produce. I can't get my head around it. It just blows my mind. It's incredibly humbling to think that something that you've created has been accepted by that many people in terms of, you know, wanting to watch it, thinking it's, you know, interesting enough to watch for a period of time. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. And if we look at that video, it's by far and away my biggest video that I've done on the channel. It's now been watched, since it was published, nearly 65,000 times. People have watched that video for nearly 6,000 hours, and it's gained me 160 subscribers. People talk about a viral video, and I don't think 65,000 views is viral by any stretch. I think, you know, a viral video is hundreds of thousands of views, and there are hundreds of thousands of those on YouTube. But for me, for my channel, it's kind of viral. So, you know, that's the video that got me a lot more people looking at the channel, so they're aware of it. You know, hardly any of them subscribed in terms of the number of people that watched it, but that wasn't really very important. It was actually about the fact that, you know, this video is out there and people are watching it. But this is also because I continue to use Ruby, as well as MyRoosh, as well as Zwift. This is the kind of video that actually in a few months' time, I'll come back to and probably do an update on. And, you know, I would hope that, whilst I don't expect it to do anything like that again, I would hope that that would be of interest to people who maybe watched the first video the first time round. So in July, I thought, well, I could do one on MyRoosh, and I've been really interested in MyRoosh. It hosted the UCI Championships, which for those of you who don't know is like the professional race championships in Abu Dhabi. It's a free platform, so you have to pay a monthly subscription or an annual subscription for both Ruby and Zwift, whereas MyRoosh was free. And it's kind of like, you know, it's free is not always good. So I was really interested to look at that. But so during July, though, you can see that if you just look at the graph, it's gradually increasing in the number of views that the videos are getting every day. But then when I put the MyRoosh one out here on the 27th of July, it got an instant sort of hit and then it dropped off again. But that MyRoosh one is my second best video in terms of performance. I mean, it might not be my second best video in terms of quality. But yeah, you know, if I look at that, you can see that to date, that video has had 27,500 views and gained me quite a lot of subscribers. So obviously that's super pleasing, and that's still being watched about 200 to 300 times a day, even now. But the important thing here is that the people who have been coming back and watching the videos are starting to see some value in it. So again, you know, if you're thinking of a YouTube channel, maybe it's an indoor cycling one, you know, there might be people watching this who are not interested in that at all, but have somehow picked up on this video because it's about, you know, getting started on YouTube and what's it really like. Consistency, you have to stick with it. I read a stat somewhere that said that only 5% of YouTube channels get to be monetized. So that's that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And you know what, I'm sure that's right. I'm sure that's right, because it's a slog. And you have to, you know, really commit to it, and you have to put time into it. In terms of how long does it take to produce one video, well, of course it varies. It varies on the format. So if you look at the comparison videos that I've done, you know, they take days because I'm doing lots of different filming on one platform and on the other, and then there's a lot of editing that goes on. But if I look at what I would call my bread and butter, if you like, the race videos that I do, and if we disregard the amount of time it takes to do a race, because I don't make a video of every race that I do, because sometimes in races, nothing very much happens. You know, I mean, you basically ride in a peloton for 22 kilometers, and then there's a sprint for the last 500 meters. So you can't for me, if I want to make it interesting to the audience, you can't just keep on banging out those videos unless, like some other creators, you do them live, which I haven't tried yet and I will do, whereabouts then you're watching the whole of it pan out, and as a viewer you're involved. And I've attended some of those live ones. There's a great one that Road to A Adam did a couple of weeks ago, and there was lots of us on it watching and chatting at the time, so that was a great experience. So maybe do something like that soon. But just to push out videos for video's sake, that's not what I want to do. I want to do them whereabouts there's something to talk about in terms of, you know, interesting race strategies that I saw other people do. That usually means that I lost. I virtually lose every race I go into, apart from 2 in nearly a year. But anyway, and yeah, so I want the videos to be useful. I am rambling. Let me pull myself back in, because what I wanted to say was the amount of time it takes. So you've obviously got the amount of time it takes to race, and you have to remember to switch your camera on. I've forgotten to do that a couple of times. You have to remember to screen record it. Definitely forgotten to do that. There's been a couple of really good races that I've not been able to do videos on because I forgot. So you have to remember to do that. And then you need to upload it all into your editor. And for me, I use Final Cut Pro because I've got a Mac. Just seemed a logical choice. It's great for me because it's relatively intuitive. I know there's free ones out there. I know there's better ones out there. There's worse ones out there, but that's what I use. And then there's the voiceover. So I would say, you know, if we say that it takes about an hour to do the race, I would say it's a good couple of hours to pull the editing together by the time I've, you know, downloaded the video, done some cutting, speeded some stuff up, put some subtitles in where they're needed, added a voiceover. And then you've got the thumbnail and the title to think about, because obviously you want people to watch it when you've spent all that effort. So, I mean, that's at least another hour, maybe 2, sometimes thinking about, well, what does it look like? And I'm no artist, I'm no graphic designer. So for me, that bit's really quite hard. And then you've got to do a description for the video, because, you know, YouTube looks at the description and decides who they're going to send it to. And then you've got to upload it. And really you should leave it, you know, for at least a couple of 3 hours after you uploaded it, so YouTube can transcribe it, can put it into different languages, all this sort of stuff. And then it will go live. And then you look at your statistics and you're going, I wonder how it's doing. I wonder how it's doing. I wonder how, oh, it's not doing very well. Oh, what a shame. I'll come back to it tomorrow. No, I won't. I'll have another look. And that's kind of what happens. So 4 or 5 hours for a relatively simple video, and then, you know, a lot longer for something that's more complicated. It is quite time consuming. So thinking about why people don't get to that monetization mark, and we talk about monetization as if it's a holy grail. And if you want to, if you're interested, put into YouTube, how much did I earn in my first month of being monetized? And even on quite big channels, you know, with 200,000 or 300,000 subscribers, with lots of watch time, it's not a great deal of money. It might be, you know, $500 or $1,000 or something a month. So I am nowhere near that. I mean, if I was to earn £50 a month, that's a win. That's a real win. I'd be absolutely delighted with that. Of course, you can supplement your income. A lot of people do that. You know, people who really want to make it their career. And, you know, maybe me coming to it in my mid-50s, it's too late for that. Maybe it's retirement planning as opposed to career changing. But in many respects, you can add shopping channels onto it. You can sell merchandise. You can monetize in various other ways. One of the things that I've got, and the links are in the description below, is Zwift contacted me, Zwift contacted me. How cool is that? And said, you know, it's not a sponsorship. This channel is not sponsored. You know, everything that I say is exactly what I think, rightly or wrongly. And but they gave me some affiliate links. So for the viewers of my channel, if you are looking at the moment, the Zwift ride with the Rahu Kicker Core, I think it's 10% off if you use the affiliate link in the description below. And the same link from time to time will vary on what Zwift will offer. So, you know, I'll keep you updated with a post if there's a special offer on and you can save some money. I get paid a small commission. It's never going to, it's not going to pay for a holiday or anything, but, you know, it's nice because I can, you know, put that money back into the channel, and you will save some money. So for me, that's a win-win. I have been approached by other companies, interestingly. I've been approached by people wanting to optimize my YouTube channel for me, which is a definite no. I'd rather fail on my own rather than blame somebody else for failing. But I've been approached by a company who wanted me to try their smart trainer. I didn't do that because I don't think, because the smart trainer didn't work with the virtual shifting. So for me, it doesn't fit in with what I would do. And therefore, how could I give a honest review on it if it's, you know, doesn't fit into the ecosystem that I have? So, you know, they were prepared to send it to me for free, which is really nice. They said I didn't need to send it back, which is also very nice, but I turned it down because it's not, you know, it's just not fair, you know, and it's not fair to you, because if I'm reviewing it, I need to have tried it for a period of time, and I need to either believe in it or not believe in it, or at least drawn a conclusion on it. And I didn't feel I could do that with that product. So, you know, you get these little opportunities along the way. And I think for me, credibility is really key. And I want you to know that I am a credible YouTuber and that you can believe that what I say is what I think. So, you know, if somebody came along and offered me sponsorship and there was a lot of money involved, well, I don't know that I could turn that down, but I would always be very upfront about that being the case if that ever did happen, which I very much doubt it will. But there we go. You live in hope. Moving on. So in August, I've been on holiday for nearly the whole month. I had a few days away at the beginning of August. I was back for a couple of days, uploaded a video, and then this is my next video, which, as you know, is coming out at the end of August. But the really interesting thing here is about momentum. Even though there's only been one video, 52,000 views, 4,200 hours of watch time, and 261 subscribers. And this is the benefit of having a content library behind you, which is what I've managed to build up over the 6 months. It keeps your channel going because we all need holidays. Like I say, I've got a very busy day job, which means that quite often I'm doing the YouTube stuff, you know, in evenings and at weekends. And I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I'm not doing it because I have to. I mean, I could stop tomorrow if I didn't enjoy it, but I actually really enjoy doing it. And I really enjoy reading your comments and responding to them. So since I started on YouTube, that's the very beginning on the 19th of February. And then you can see these are all the numbers of videos that are uploaded. But what I find really motivating about this is you can see it's all bobbling along, and then there's a peak with Swift Ride and a bit more with Ruby and a bit more with My Rouge. But this underlying trend you can see is just building and building and building and going up ever so slightly as we go month by month. And you can see there I'm up to 937 subscribers. I'm actually recording this on the 24th of August, so a few days after the 6-month anniversary. But yeah, it's close to that 1,000 actually. So, and for me, that would be a real YouTube milestone. But actually, it's not the reason why I'm doing it at all. I never thought 6 months ago I'd get anywhere near 1,000 subscribers, if I'm completely honest. So this whole idea of monetization was a pipe dream. I mean, wishful thinking. But in reality, not a million miles off now. That 4,000 hours of watch time that's required has been, you know, more than met. And actually, it's really interesting because I have watched quite a few videos about how to do YouTube because I wanted to learn. And it seems like I'm a bit of an unusual channel. It seems like most people get to their 1,000 subscribers relatively quickly. But then the watch time is a real problem. And for me, it's been completely the other way around. And I have absolutely no idea why that would be. And if you've got an idea, talk to me in the comments. So the other thing that's really motivating is the amount of interaction that I've had. So you can see from here that there's been 456 comments added by people on my channel over the last 6 months. 937 subscribers that we've touched on before, 3,500 likes, 85 dislikes, fair enough. Not everybody's going to like what you do. And that's out of that 217,000 views. The time that it takes somebody to add a comment, and I try to respond to all of them if I possibly can, is just amazing to me. And, you know, the amount of likes that I've had for the comment, all of this is just motivation. So you can look at lots of different metrics, and believe you me, in the Analytics Studio, Google gives you more than you could ever try and digest in terms of how your channel is performing. But when you look at what I think are the key ones, which is probably how many people have subbed, once you get to 1,000, I don't know if that's as important anymore, because probably it's about how much time people watch your videos, and how many views you get. But the really important ones, I think, is the engagement that you have with people that are watching your videos. And 456 comments and 3,500 likes nearly is just, again, something that I'm incredibly grateful for, you know, every single one of those comments and every single one of those likes. And really does keep me motivated to say, right, so what can I find now that hopefully adds value to you, my viewer, who watches these videos? What about the cost of it? Well, to be honest with you, you can do it pretty cheaply. I mean, you could use an iPhone or an Android phone to record you, which is how I started. And you could talk into that as well, and the microphone would work relatively well. And then, you know, the PC or the iPad or whatever that you run Zwift on, you can screen record from that. So you can do it at a really low cost. But I wanted to try and do it a little bit better, quality, let's say, for you, the viewer, and for me to look at and for me to learn. So the pieces of equipment that I've invested in is, I was going to buy a new laptop anyway, so I bought a MacBook. So, I mean, you can rule that out. I mean, that was expensive because MacBooks are expensive, and I was buying one anyway. So that wasn't specific for the channel. But what I use for these videos specifically is I have the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which is what I'm recording this on now. I have a DJI Mic 2, because it just works seamlessly with it. And then I bought this lavalier microphone, which plugs into the DJI Mic 2. So the investment in those is broadly somewhere between £600 to £800, I think, if I remember rightly. And then on top of that, everything else was already paying for. So I already had a Zwift subscription, of course, because I was using Zwift. Like I say, I needed to buy a laptop anyway. So, you know, that was just an extra cost. You know, so to get, I think, quite good quality content in 4K with decent sound, you're probably looking somewhere between £600 and £800 if you decide to do it like I did. But there's lots and lots and lots of creators on YouTube that just use their iPhone. And, you know, they've got a lot more subscribers than me, and they've got a lot more watch time and views than I have. So, yeah, they might be doing it right, actually. But that's what I've spent. So this is where I am after 6 months. My intention is to do one of these every 3 months, so like a quarterly update, because if you're interested, and I suppose I'll know by the number of views that I get from this video, but if you are interested, I want you to feel that this channel is, you know, that it's your channel. You know, I mean, I might create the content for it, but it's nothing without you. You know, there's literally no point. If you're not watching it, what is the point of me creating it? So it's your channel as much as it's mine. But over the last 6 months, the channel has gone from nothing to over 200,000 views, over 12,000 hours of watch time, and over 900 subscribers. And there's literally no way that I would have thought that it would have ever achieved that. So I'm definitely going to continue. So what's coming up? Well, like I say, I'll do a quarterly update. If you're interested, please watch them in terms of how the channel's performing, because, you know, for me, it's interesting. Maybe it is for you as well. And I've got some quite exciting videos coming. One of the ones that actually came out of a comment that I got on one of my videos, which was whereabouts I'd used an image, which I got from Google and put onto one of my thumbnails, and turns out to have been copyrighted. And the owner of it got in touch with me and said, "You're using an image that is my copyright." And that then led to a conversation and will lead to a video about a piece of equipment that I've now got set up on my indoor cycling setup. So quite excited to do that. That'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks. A little bit of a teaser. There will be some more race videos coming, and I'm going to continue to expand looking at my Whoosh and Ruvi as well as Zwift, because For me, it's just interesting to see how these platforms develop. And really, the better each one of those three get, and I guess those are the three main ones. I mean, I know there's Full Gas and, you know, various other ones out there, but, you know, those are kind of the three main ones in my eyes, at least. The competition between those three, I think, is really important because it keeps on pushing them to be better. Hopefully keeps the pricing sensible. I know Ruvi and Zwift have both had price increases recently, but you know, hopefully keeps all of the products improving, and that can only be good for all of us. I'd like to just finish with a heartfelt thank you. I've said it a number of times during the video, and I really mean it. Thank you so much for watching the videos. It really does, you know, keep me motivated to do more content. Please let me know if there's something that you'd like to see, and I will try to get round to it. And there will be more race videos coming. I've had my holiday now, so you can expect more of a weekly upload. And yeah, what else to say? But thank you very much, and ride on.